Good evening. I'm Jessica Moore. We are live at St. Patrick's Cathedral along 5th Avenue tonight, where mourners have come here all day to remember Pope Francis, who died just hours after giving his Easter blessing at the age of 88. This afternoon, the Vatican announced his official cause of death was a cerebral stroke. Francis spent 5 weeks in the hospital being treated for double pneumonia and was just released last month. Pope Francis wrote in his will he wished to be buried in a, quote, simple tomb at St. Mary Major Basilica in Rome. And as part of his will, Pope Francis wrote, quote, "May the Lord give the deserved reward to those who have loved me and will continue to pray for me." And now, taking a live look from Rome, where it is just past midnight, there are still some crowds out near the Vatican at this hour. From Rome to here in the tri-state area, we have team coverage. We begin at 6 o'clock with Dick Brennan as he looks back on the life and legacy of the People's Pope.
Fratelli e sorelle.
Brothers and sisters,
Buonasera.
Good evening.
A sea of faithful greeted Pope Francis when he emerged on the central balcony of St. Peter's Basilica in 2013. Francis succeeded Benedict XVI, the first pope in 6 centuries to resign. In his first speech as pope, he asked the people to bless him. A man of humility, Pope Francis earned the nickname the People's Pope. Taking a page from his namesake, St. Francis of Assisi, he often wore simple robes and lived in a small apartment at the Vatican.
Faith brings us the light that scatters the darkness.
At age 76, Francis became the first South American pope, the first from the Jesuit order, and the first non-European pope in more than 1,000 years. Pope Francis was born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1936. He became a priest in 1969 and Archbishop of Buenos Aires in 1998. Then he was known as the Bishop of the Slums, preaching in the poorest neighborhoods.
There are many unjust situations, but we know that God is suffering with us.
Francis championed service and kindness in his time as a pope. He washed prisoners' feet, spoke up for refugees and migrants, and offered a conciliatory message for the LGBTQ community, saying,
"If a person is gay and accepts the Lord and has goodwill, who am I to judge them?"
In 2015, Pope Francis made his first visit to the U.S. A crowd joined then-President Obama to greet the Pope as he took his first steps on U.S. soil. The trip would take him to New York and Philadelphia, but while visiting Washington, he achieved a milestone.
I am most grateful for the invitation to address this joint session of Congress.
On a 2016 trip to Mexico, the Pope celebrated Mass before 200,000 people in Juarez, 50 yards from the U.S. border. He offered a message of hope to migrants seeking a better life, saying, "We cannot deny the humanitarian crisis." Early in his papacy, Francis tackled another huge issue for the church, assembling a panel of experts to advise him on church sex abuse. Francis opened the summit with a prayer and a call to action. Listen to the cry of the little ones who want justice. In 2023, Pope Francis celebrated the funeral mass for his predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI, in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican. He was the first sitting pope to preside over the funeral of a retired pontiff in church history. Later that year, he marked the 10th anniversary of his papacy, saying on a podcast, "The best gift would be peace." Around that time, Francis, who had part of his lung removed when he was younger, battled a series of respiratory ailments. He also underwent abdominal surgery and faced knee problems. The Pope managed to overcome health issues to continue with his work leading the Catholic Church. In February 2025, Francis spoke out against the second Trump administration's plans for mass deportations of migrants. Through political and social upheaval, Pope Francis sought to help the Church and its faithful grow and deal with change during rapidly changing times. In a 2024 interview with Nora O'Donnell on 60 Minutes, he spoke about how he was able to hold on to optimism.
When you look at the world, what gives you hope?
Everything. You see tragedies, but you also see so many beautiful things.